What's up, guys? It's your homeboy, Cowboy Crunk, coming to you from Manama, Bahrain, the Middle East headquarters here for the logistics area where I'm working. It's your war daddy coming to you, not another rooftop video, and I know I've been kind of quiet for a while. It's just getting acclimated here. You guys know if you're part of the channel, and right now I mainly got my main subscribers watching because I'm not doing enough videos to keep the channel really running at a top speed, but I'm fine with that. I do want to get some information out after everything I looked over contracts wise, the way this is going to work, the way this actually could help out. Stick around. I'll do this throughout the video, but I want to get the main points out. One of the main points is how this might help Dak Prescott get signed. This might be a huge move, getting CeeDee Lamb to free up some money for Dak Prescott past the franchise tag that we got going on. Just thought about this today, thought about another scenario this morning of why the Cowboys didn't trade back because we really didn't particularly need a wide receiver. But when you got a value like that, you take it. But let me get into this. The Dallas Cowboys, as you guys know, pick 17, we took CeeDee Lamb, outstanding player, top 10 draft pick, automatically. Knew he should have went in the top 10. What happens is, nothing's wrong. It's not like he has off the field issues. When a player starts to fall like this, and then a couple teams that do need receivers start picking these receivers, now you've got a situation where no receivers were taken in the top 10. A couple receivers start to get taken, and as many wide receivers as there are left, everybody's thinking we'll get our receiver later. We'll still get a quality receiver later. Well, CeeDee Lamb falls to us at 17. A lot of people had him as the number one receiver coming off the board. The top three, him, Jerry Jeudy, those guys were up there in the mix for, anywhere between 8 and 6. Some people had CeeDee Lamb as high as 6. So the thing is, when we go to pick at 17, we're actually sitting there with a pick 6. Not a pick 6 as a return touchdown. We're sitting there with the value in front of us. We own CeeDee Lamb. Some people are grading him as the 6th, 7th, 8th pick. That's why the Cowboys' phone was ringing off the hook. And I didn't think about that. I actually thought about it and then looked it up, and that is what was happening. We were getting calls, and they didn't list the teams, but we were getting calls to trade that pick and for us to trade down. And that's how you want to trade down. A lot of people are talking about trading down, or should we trade down? You don't know until you get to the situation, because you could get to the situation. We could have got to 17. The top 2 corners could have still been sitting there, and bang, we take our corner. But that's not what happened. The top 2 corners were gone. We get there, and the top receiver is still sitting there. So we were getting calls because there were teams that needed the receiver. They knew, in particularly, we didn't need the receiver. But that time crunch is so quick. You've only got that 5 or 6 minutes to work the deal out. We could have probably traded back to what I looked at was, let's say we traded back to 24th and maybe got a 2nd round pick with it, maybe the 56th pick. Or we trade back to 28 and get a 60 pick with it, get a 2nd and a 3rd. Now, with those 2 picks at 28 or 24, one of those safeties would have been there. We could have went ahead and pulled a safety and had the 60th pick for the 56th pick. We could have combined that with our 51st pick and moved up into the 40s and probably got a very good corner at the 40s, in the 40s. So that's the reason we could have got 2 picks for 17. And one of them would have still been a first rounder, most likely. If it would have been a 2nd rounder, we would have got multiple picks. But if we could have got another first rounder for our 17 and a 2nd rounder, now we take our 2 2nd rounders, move up higher in the 2nd round, and we probably get that corner. That's why some people are looking at this and saying, maybe we did the wrong thing, maybe this isn't right. But another scenario I have for this is how this is going to help Dak out, possibly get his payday, at least for the next 4 years. And I know the way the cap works, contracts are contracts. It's kind of what I do a little bit with my last job, not with this one. But I worked contracts, NATO contracts, DOD contracts. I shuffled the contracts around, moved companies in, moved companies out, decided, kind of where the contracts were going to go, how they were going to be taken care of. and really you just try to minimize it. There was no cap, but we tried to get it as low as we could. So it works out similar to what you have to do with this. The situation with this is there's no real reason to carry 3 top-tier wide receivers. There's only one ball to pass around. You put one on the left, one on the right. Yeah, you get a good slot. You don't have to have an elite one. I do think Michael Gallup is going to turn into an elite receiver. He just showed too much. I do definitely think CeeDee Lamb is going to turn into an elite receiver. You've already got Amari Cooper. So, I mean, we're in a great situation, yes, but sooner or later you have to pay all those guys, and already we're paying Cooper. The good thing with Cooper is his deal is set up where if we release him or have to let him go or we trade him, the dead money is pretty much obsolete, is very small. So with this trade, what we've done, or excuse me, with this draft pick, what we've done is we brought in a receiver that can take over Amari Cooper's position. And I think this guy is going to be a Hopkins type, Julio Jones type receiver. I really do think he's that good. And I still wish we would have went the other way and maybe got our, filled our need and got a very good safety and a very good corner, or even 2 corners. I would have been happy with 2 corners. Best corner or safety off the board at those 2 picks. And the reason I say that is because when our offense was already number 1 offense in the league last year as far as yards go, and it didn't get us very far. We could have. It would be as if you're spending money to upgrade your kitchen when your kitchen is already, an amazing kitchen. If you need to remodel your bathrooms and you spend money there, and you make your overall makes your home better. Overall, you make your team much better if you spend that money where your deficiency is. If you have a mediocre defense, you add one outstanding player, aka let's say a Jamal Adams. That guy could take your defense from a 15th defense to a 4th or 5th, or take your defense, from a 20 up to a top 10 defense. A couple players can do that, but when you've already got a top tier offense, that wide receiver, the value he's adding, it's not going to be that much to your team. You need to add your players to where your weaknesses are. But in saying that, the thing with adding CeeDee Lamb, what it allows us to do, if we have to remove Amari Cooper and release his contract, that frees up a lot of money, which we can dump back into Dak Prescott's contract and keeping him. You guys know, I actually haven't put this out quite a bit. I'm really, really big into the business side. And that's a good thing about my channel, because I think it's a good thing about my channel because I try to understand the business side, because we all care about the players. I love every player we got. I think Dak Prescott is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league when you put in things, when you put in things such as his leadership, his durability, his ability to win. He's had a good team around him, and I understand that. But he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make ridiculous turnovers. Other than the 2018 season, he had a lot of fumbles. He was getting sacked a lot. That was when Travis Frederick was out, and we had that situation with him gone the whole year. A little bit different season because Dak saw a lot of pressure on him that he hadn't seen before. And we could see that this year, with the situation. And there was a center sitting there. I wasn't big on taking him. The guy from Michigan, and I think he went to I can't even recall now where he went, but a good pickup by New Orleans. And New Orleans just picked a center last year, so not exactly where their eyes are looking as far as their offensive line. He did play a lot of guard, so that they may use him there and use him as a backup center. But getting back to the Cowboys, it's a big deal that we have this guy on his rookie contract. The way success has to take place, there's a way success happens in the NFL. Some of it's, sometimes it's luck, but when it doesn't come down to luck, to have a really good team, you've got to have your rookie deals work out. And what I mean by your rookie deal is not your first season. When a player's on his rookie deal, his first 4 years, he's got to play above and beyond his contract. And then it comes to negotiations. Now, when it comes to negotiations, if you can replace him and let him go, but you have to replace him with a player of similar value as far as the quality of play you're getting on the field. You can't just release him and bring in some undrafted free agent or a second rounder that hasn't been working out. These are the things you've got to draft well. You've got to replace your guys as they come to the end of their rookie deals. You've got to be able to let some of them go because you can't keep them all. We've seen that. Byron Jones, we had to let him go. Top paid corner in the NFL. Now the Dolphins have the top 2 paid corners in the NFL. But that's what has to work out. You have to bring in draft players that can replace your guys before they finish their rookie deals, their first 4 years. Once they're signed, once they come off of their rookie deal, you decide to sign them and spend that money on them. They become franchise players, basically, at least for the next 3-4 years. Once you upgrade them from a rookie deal to a veteran deal, you've decided to keep them. You're spending money. So that's where we went with the Byron Jones thing. We let it go. We still have the opportunity to do that with Amari Cooper, and that is because the way they cut his deal, there's not much dead money sitting there. So we would end up with CeeDee Lamb at a 1, or Michael Gallup as our X, and vice versa. Both of those guys can play either position. And then our slot receiver, we still have a year or 2 to draft that, but we could release Amari Cooper. Put both of those guys as our number 1, number 2, and then we have the money that frees up the money to increase Dak's contract to where he wants it, and the Cowboys aren't put in a situation where they're taking money off the table for somebody else. Another place where players have to work out is when you do sign those veteran deals for these guys, DeMarcus Lawrence and some of these other guys, those deals have to work out. When they max out a contract, when they're one of the top paid players in the league at their position, they have to play like it. You have to have your rookies playing well. You have to have your guys coming off those contracts, stay off the injured reserve list. Some of the guys like Lyle Collins, Sean Lee, Antoine Brown, Jordan Lewis, Tony Pollard, X Woods, these guys that are mediocre, mid-level players, those are the players that suffer when we sign these big-time guys and we can't keep some of these guys. Or you have to let other Pro Bowl players like Byron Jones go. So that's just my scenario with this pick. I was somewhat not happy with it, but playing the scenario into where it does free up money for Dak Prescott if they end up letting Amari Cooper go next year, which I'm not completely cool with that, but you can't pay everyone. I'm talking business-wise, salary-wise, stand under the salary cap. I know it's going to go up. I know everybody, but guys, every year we release players, we lose players. Hitchens and the other linebacker that we lost, Wilson, the players that we lost last year, ended up on Super Bowl teams and played well. And they're players we just, let them go. They're mediocre players. We got to replace them in the draft. But sometimes you have to replace your all-stars, your veteran players with these type, rookie guys that can step up. So I'm in to go on this CeeDee Lamb deal, but it has to work out right. Either the money has to be pushed over to Dak and we get Dak signed, or tonight we will see. Tonight is a big deal. We will see if the Cowboys draft a quarterback, and it's the same situation. We drafted a receiver when we didn't need one. Now do we draft a quarterback when we really aren't in the position where we need one? But it's a business. If we bring in a rookie quarterback and he does play well, Dak Prescott, a 4th-round pick, played very well his rookie season, like almost an MVP season his rookie year when no one expected it. So you don't think we could get a 2nd-round quarterback this draft and put him in the position, play him a little bit, see how it works out, And the same thing, let Dak go. Let him go down the road. Let him take his $30 million contract or $35 million to $40 million contract that he wants, and let him go somewhere else and get it. And we've got another rookie, top tier quarterback that we can spend money on our defensive line, spend money on our offensive line, and spread that money around. The thing is, the pay on these quarterbacks is getting too different than, it is too much different in the top paid quarterback and your second top paid player. You know, even right now, if we paid Dak 35 and DeMarcus Lawrence is making 20, 21, that's a huge difference. And DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the top paid non-quarterback players in the league. So you've got to, once you pay that quarterback, you've got to have a plan to pay the rest of your guys, release some people. Some people are going to go. It's just going to happen. Even next year when the salary cap goes up, there's going to be other players that are wanting money, safeties, corners, linebackers. We've got guys coming up on the, like I just listed, Jordan Lewis, Tony Pollard, X Woods. You know, these guys are coming up. They're going to need contracts. LVE. And if you overpaid Dak Prescott or can't get that money back somewhere else, releasing Amari Cooper, releasing Byron Jones, some of those things that one of those things already happened. But you've got to look at things like that down the road. So taking CeeDee Lamb wasn't that big of a huge bite if we can use him later to replace, and I don't want to let Amari Cooper go, but guys, we're going to be in a situation we can't keep everybody, so it's going to happen sooner or later to someone. And you've got to look where your strengths are. Where your strengths are, you let guys go in that area. So that's my thoughts on this. I will be up to watch the draft tonight. I won't be live streaming. I apologize. I'm going to be focused on watching the draft. I'll be jumping in and checking out some of the other live streams. But I do miss you guys. I'm trying to get the channel rolling. I just got to learn my job. It's a really tough, stressed out, strenuous job. Even though I'm working from here, from home, because of this coronavirus. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, keep the social distancing. I know it's horrible, but we're going to have to do this for a couple months to make sure that this thing, we really got to crash this thing down. We got to subdue this thing all the way down as far as possible, so where we can get out and socialize again, and it doesn't come back up. This thing went from just a few people in December, a total of like 40-something people in December in China, to where it is now. You're talking about an extreme rate of growth. So when we try to kick this thing down and get rid of it, it's going to take a while. So the best of luck to you guys. Stay out there, stay safe. Good luck in the draft. I hope we do well. I hope we get, safety, corner, safety. That's pretty much where I see it. I think our ends are taken care of. I think Gregory and the other part, sorry guys, not thinking real well right now. I think both of those guys will get reinstated, and we move forward into the season. I hope the season takes off on time. But anyways, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Cowboy Crunk from Manama, Bahrain. Take care. Good luck. See you after the draft. Try to get a video in tomorrow, guys.